people get involved in your campaign. They say, you know what, I love this woman, I love what she's doing, she's fighting for us. This is John Villarreal reporting for Conservative New Media.
You know, doling out money, making decisions, because I question how she's making decisions. She admits herself in what she said, that, you know, a lot of her decisions seem to be based on, you know, her own personal feelings. Well, I want to give more to South Georgia than to North Georgia because I'm from South Georgia. This is a paraphrase. You can look at, we've talked about this before, you can look at the quotes. I mean, when you go through that, and, you know, there's a line about, oh, the, you know, the Republicans are, you know, with the health care bill, and, you know, oh, they don't like a black president. This is definitely a very, very loose paraphrase. But there's a lot of things in there that make you just question yourself, like, whoa, you know, what's going on here? And then, okay, you know, maybe that's, we all make mistakes, say stupid stuff. I say stupid stuff all the time. But then she came, as Paul said, in the Media Matters interview. She had agreed to an interview on Fox. That was already set. Now, I'm not the producer of Fox. I don't know what happened.
Looking at the interview right now, Media Matters, that they did with Shirley Sherrod, and it was between her and Joe Strupp. Now, the quote is this, quote, when you look at their reporting, meaning Fox, this is just another way of seeing that they are racist. Now, the word racist is in parentheses, meaning that it's referencing something that Sherrod had said earlier. But this is what Media Matters is basically saying that she said. So that is the quote. That's it. We'll put a link to it in the video description and people read it for themselves.
I mean, there you go. That wasn't 26 years ago. That wasn't a story 26 years ago. That was yesterday. In addition, she says, if I remember correctly, that, you know, we're moving backwards in racial relations here in America. You thought it'd be better, but it's actually getting worse and stuff. And it's like, dude, are you kidding me? Look around. I mean, it's like, what are you talking about? Okay, so of course we have more to work on. But you know, how do you say that? How do you say that when you look at people? You know, this country is more diverse than ever. I mean, it's just like, you know, and all kinds of folks of all varieties, you know, and all kinds of cultural backgrounds are having success. Whether it's Bobby Jindal being an Indian American, or who's the woman in South Carolina? There's, you know, who on the Republican side, Condoleezza Rice.
I want to say Haley.
Yeah, Nikki Haley. I mean, you know, Barack Obama's president. You know, Oprah Winfrey, probably one of the most powerful women in the world. You know, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, P. Diddy, even Tiger Woods. I mean, yeah, he's messed up, but he still has, you know, crazy amounts of money and endorsements, stuff like that. I mean, on and on and on. Like, what? How do you say that? You know, I mean, this isn't the 1960s, okay? This isn't the 1800s anymore. Sure, we've got more to do, but I mean, what it comes down to is, what kind of presidency do we have here? Who do we have in this administration? And again, with the NAACP, and we'll link to this video right here. Remember, this isn't, you know, Breitbart makes the point that, hey, this is a reaction of the NAACP, the people in audience that he wanted to point out. And we'll talk about Breitbart in a second. Remember, we talked about it a long time ago when Obama was running for president. Reverend Wright went to the NAACP dinner in Detroit, and look at some of the things that Reverend Wright was saying, and look at the reaction of the audience in that. We'll link to it right here. You can click on it right now. I mean, I think that speaks for itself. So then we have a San Francisco Examiner article that raised a lot of questions about how she was hired, what her background is, because she sued the Department of Agriculture before, and there seemed to be some strange things going on with who was getting money. Were people trying to sort of rig the system? If I'm remembering right, I just got to remember it right, that there was a lawsuit about price discrimination and stuff like that for African American farmers and getting money, and you know, she won part of that lawsuit, and her husband got $300,000, but they got more. It seems like they got more than a lot of the other people. The guy, why was that? Then she gets a job because she sued Secretary Vilsack, and then she got a job there, and it just, you know, there's definitely questions related to that. But also sort of part of that was strange, you know, being a lawyer and stuff like that. It's like, wait a minute, and being logical. I believe the article will point out, and there's a lot more reporting investigation needs to be done on this, and it'll be interesting to see if the mainstream media does this. I'm not holding my breath. Then I believe there was 26,000 some odd African American farmers that might have been qualified at that time to become part of that class and get some monies and so, you know, that they were due based upon that lawsuit for past discrimination or like that. So, you know, of course we want justice and right wrongs and all that type of stuff. However, if I'm reading the article correctly, there was something like 80,000 people that, you know, African American people apparently, that were trying to get money from it. So all of a sudden it's like, it's kind of like one of these things where, yeah, there's more voters than are actually on the rolls, or there's more people. You know, there's what, if I'm reading this right, if I'm remembering it right, if I understood it correctly, it's like 3 or almost 4 times as many people trying to file for claims as were even theoretically eligible. So read that article. That raises a bunch of questions, and you know, what's going on with that? But more than all I'm trying to say is that, you know, the people that want to flip this into, hey, Sherrod's a hero, and you know, Breitbart and you guys are all this and that, and anyone who wasn't, you know, who commented at all about this are all racist, and we're all trying to say, you know, first of all, that's never going to work here. Second of all, that's not right. Now, a couple other important points on the Breitbart. Breitbart explained that he got this sent to him, which makes total sense to me. I've been at some of his events and people are mobbing the dude. I'm at events and people mob me. Nothing close to what Breitbart experiences at this point. One can hope one day we'll get there, right, and beyond. But so people come up and say, hey, I've got this, I've got that, I've got, you know, whatever. They're, you know, just like any other major news organizations, they're always feeding you stuff. You know, everyone knows how this works, you know. And, you know, it was something that he got, and he got it, his story is that he got it the way that it was, and because the NAACP was coming hard on against the Tea Parties, and, you know, we're going to get into that in a second, you know, he called Ben jealous, and he ran with it. Now, that's his story. I have no reason to doubt that story. I bet him, he seems like a cool guy to me or whatever like that. In my personal opinion, he gets a little aggressive, a little overheated on certain things, on certain issues. It's not where I would go. Kind of like, I'm not saying he's the same level, whatever, but kind of like Ann Coulter. You know, she gets a little bombastic on stuff, where, you know, and goes and says things that I wouldn't say, and do things that I wouldn't do. But you know, some people can say I do this or that wrong too. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying, like, okay, whatever. I think he does a phenomenal job on our side, and does a phenomenal job of getting information and putting it out there in informative and entertaining ways, and stuff that you know, you're rarely going to get other than here, other than Drudge, Rush, you know, Beck. I mean, it's just, you know, he does a really, really great job on that side. So, I mean, you know, I respect his professional success on that. I wouldn't do everything that he does, and I'm not here to defend him or back up everything that he does. And that's the key point. I don't need to defend Andrew Breitbart. That's not, we didn't make a decision on Andrew Breitbart. And let me be even more clear about that. Okay, I said all those good things about Breitbart, put it in context, but let me also say this. I don't look at his site. That's not, there's a list of sites, a list of places that I look every day, multiple times a day, you know, a lot of them. I have all kinds of different sources for getting information. Left, right, center, alternative, this and that, whatever like that. Breitbart's isn't one of them. So anyone that wants to say that, oh, I took Breitbart stuff and I ran with it, and I'm his laptop, wrong. Nothing to get. I mean, if there's a hot story that someone else linked to, and he's got on a site, or he's one of my Facebook friends, and he puts something out there that I want to see, yeah, I'll take a look at that. But I mean, I never go to his site on any regular basis. Any of his sites, big anything, Breitbart anything. Nothing against it. It's just not what I need. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to like, I mean, no disrespect by that. It's frankly, it's kind of like what Rush says, you know, he doesn't go anywhere else for, you know, he is show prep for everyone else. That's kind of how I feel about what we do. It's like, you know, I don't need to go anywhere to know what I think. I think some of the stuff he does is fantastic and brilliant and needed for a side, and I respect his professional success, but I mean, let's not get it twisted. I'm not taking orders from Breitbart. Sorry, I'm not going to his site to parrot his stuff. Sorry, no, you know.